Tina Turner. We had the opportunity to see the musical, so it inspired us to speak to you today about the Queen of Rock and Roll, a woman who would break all barriers and go on to make history. We're going to talk about her life and all of the amazing things she accomplished. But first, this is Latina Literati. If you enjoy amazing stories, wonderful people from past and present, and great books, then this is the channel for you. Born in 1939 in a very small unincorporated area called Nutbush, Tennessee, Anna Mae Bullock needed to sing. From the church choir at the Baptist services on Sunday to singing while she picked cotton with her sharecropper family, Anna Mae Bullock needed to be heard. And she sang. From the time that she was very, very little, she sang loud. Her mother would eventually leave the family to St. Louis, and she would join her mother and her sisters there when she was a teenager. It was in St. Louis where she attended with her sisters different clubs and concerts, and she first sang with Ike Turner in 1957. You do the math, but she was underage. Her mother placed her in Ike's charge as they toured the country and were said to be the most formidable live show ever. They rivaled all the greats. Unstoppable music, incredible singing, constant movement. You could not sit, they said, when they sang and performed. It was absolutely electric. Let me just quickly address what we all know, what we've all seen in the different articles and movies. Later, Ike would be diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and that and the drug use probably were elements in the physical abuse that he subjected both his wife and his children to. But the important thing here is that Tina Turner was a survivor, and she went on to ensure hits, not just for the Kings of Rhythm, not just for the Ike and Tina Turner review, but for all sorts of incredible artists that she would sing with. Among the incredible hits that Tina Turner helped the group propel to stardom was, of course, Proud Mary. Rolling, rolling on the river. One more again. The incomparable song that we all know and love. But in 1976, the group disbanded. Tina Turner left Ike and would, of course, become the icon that she is today. In 1980, she staged the greatest comeback in musical history. Her 1984 album, Private Dancer, would win Grammy Award Song of the Year, would catapult her to the top of the charts, her only #1 single ever with What's Love Got to Do With It? Another great song that we all know and love. At 44, she was the oldest singer in the top 100, and she would go on for decades to come to continue singing, electrifying audiences around the world, and for the 1980s had the absolute Guinness World Book of Records for most people in a concert to see a solo performer. Almost 200,000 people jammed into stadiums to see her, and that at that time was an all-time record. Tina Turner would tour with the Rolling Stones, with Eric Clapton, with Rod Stewart, among many, many other of the rock greats. I mean, she was truly the queen of rock, the first woman ever to reach those heights and to cross over from traditional R&B to rock and roll. Tina also starred in several films, including Tommy, and opposite Mel Gibson, she starred in Mad Max. Of course, she also starred in her own movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? She was fabulous on film, on stage, just a presence. In 2009, after her 50th anniversary tour, she retired. This is an artist who sold over 100 million records worldwide, and in the 1980s, it was the 15th largest grossing tour that occurred in the 80s. And the 80s were a time when bands actually went out and performed a lot. So she was number 15 in the world in terms of her tour grossing millions and millions of dollars for her. She would become one of the best-selling artists of all time, ever. She had 3 Grammy Hall of Fame inductions. She received 12 Grammy Awards for her different songs. And she would be the first woman and the first Black artist to be featured on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. Really it catapulted just a star in the heavens in terms of what she was able to do with her incredible musical talent. The love of her life was a German musical executive called Erwin Bach. He asked her to marry her again and again. He asked her to marry him again and again until she finally said yes. They met in 1987 and were wed in Küsnacht, Switzerland, where they lived until her death in May of 2023. They had a beautiful estate called the Algonquin Estate, and she also had a home on the lake there. She actually became a Swiss citizen, and to become a Swiss citizen is not easy. You have to take a test in German, and you have to be able to recite Swiss history. And so she became a Swiss citizen and then also turned in her American citizenship. She gave up her American citizenship in the same year. So she really stayed in Europe, where she was very well received, very well loved, and lived with the love of her life until her final days. Throughout her life, she received many, many awards, everything from an honorary doctorate from the University of Bern in Switzerland to a star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. She would receive many, many, many recognitions, very well deserved. A fabulous personality, and she teaches us to follow our passions, to overcome adversity with sheer perseverance and talent. Really an icon, a woman to look up to. So if perchance the musical that started in London in 2018 and is only now making its way across North America, if you have a chance to see Tina the musical, definitely see it. And remember, what's love got to do with it? I'm joking. Now I'm going to talk about my favorite part of the video, the book recommendation. And what is more apropos than to recommend the 3 books that Tina Turner actually wrote in her life? So the 3 books that Tina Turner wrote were I, Tina, where she talks about, of course, herself, Happiness Becomes You, a book about how to be a happier person, and of course, My Love Story. So these 3 books, again, check your library, check your local bookseller, and if that's not available to you, we always leave links for independent booksellers for you in the description box should you want to acquire the books that way. Thank you so much for coming to the end of the video. This is a joint journey. We love to hear from you. Let us know what you think about the content or what you'd like us to talk about. And we would love to hear from you, what you've been reading and what you'd like us to present to you, to share with you. So thank you very much. And as always, mucho cariño, mucho salud, mucho amor. And what's love got to do with it?